This podcast provides a platform that will share many different points of views that should empower you, uplift you, make you want to go out and do right. When you hear the term still a man, say, yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Still a man. Yes, I am. Let's go.
What's up, people? It's Tuesday night. Y'all know what time it is. You are now tuned in to another episode of the Still a Man podcast. But before we get started, let's go ahead and pay some bills. So we're going to talk about our sponsors at Emporium Plus. Robert, you want to tell everybody where they can find Emporium Plus, how they can get in contact with Emporium Plus?
Well, we strongly advise you all to go over to emporiumplus.org, where you will find the latest fashions and adapt to Parish, S.A.M, SOS, support our sisters, adapt to Parish, ladies first, Still a Man, and Envy Forever.
Okay, for some fun in the sun, what might they find in that store?
You will find some t-shirts, some jerseys, some candles, and a lot more. I can go on and on. It's like the one-stop shop.
So if they're going to the beach, what can they find in that store?
Bikinis for the women and bathing trunks for the men.
So we got bathing suits, we got swim trunks for the men, we got beach towels. We got it all, people. Like we said before, it is the one-stop shop. And if you just want to go and show off your toes, we got the flip-flops for those. So we got flip-flops, we got sandals as well. We're trying to find something.
We also have beach towels to go with those bikinis and bathing suits or swim trunks.
And we're currently trying to track down some cover-ups for you modest women. They want to cover up your bottoms. And they have some sheer tops too. We're trying to find those too. So if you just want to let the twins show and you want to keep the rest of it covered up, we're going to have that too. We're going to keep it grown and sexy. But so, like I said before, we got some things in development. All right, so let's get down to it. Y'all been talking about it. It's time. It's here. We want to talk about when a woman's fed up. And inquiring minds want to know, when a woman is fed up, is there anything that the man can do about it? A lot of women say no. A lot of men say she ain't going nowhere. Some women says, yeah, if he works hard enough, he may be able to earn my love back, my trust. But let's say this. R. Kelly released a song called When a Woman's Fed Up on his double album in, I believe, 1997. But the single, When a Woman's Fed Up, was released on November 10th, 1998. Don't take my word for it. Go and Google it. Go and Wikipedia it. Do whatever you have to do. Fact check. But I know he made a song. There's another song. There's some of the brothers, You Out for the Count. I think it's called Another Love TKO. I don't remember who it is. I don't know if it's the OJs or one of those old groups. But some of you brothers, you've been down for the count for a long time. It's time to get up off the mat.
Teddy Pendergrass.
All right. Teddy Pendergrass. There you go. See? Love the facts. Love when y'all come right back at it with it. All right. So let's say this. According to the professionals, The number one reason why women leave their men is, you know what? I'm not gonna even tell y'all that. I'm gonna let y'all tell me what you think the number one reason is to why a woman would leave her man.
Cheating.
We got some ladies in the house.
I'm gonna
Let's
speak
go
right
ahead.
up. They cheat, or they get bored with the same thing and they want something new, or they're attracted. You know, men are visual. So after a few years, perhaps weeks, months, whatever, you know, it's not them, but it's the thing between their legs, the penis they call it. That's attracted. They can't. Some men can't help themselves.
Wow. You came in with a lot of fire. You care to introduce yourself to the public, to the viewers?
Del Freaky is the name I go by. Some of y'all might be familiar with that.
Del Freaky. Okay.
That's right.
All right, Del Freaky gonna get freaky with it. All right, so let's go on. Patsy, what you think the number one reason a woman will leave her man?
Not being supportive, financial reasons, doing stuff that he ain't supposed to be doing. A lot of stuff my ex-husband was doing.
Okay, so everybody's right here. Josie. Okay, you're gonna have to turn your mics on, everyone, if you want to participate.
I could see another reason is, you know, sometimes some men, they're undercover. They want to be with another man, not particularly just another woman. No, I'm speaking the gospel. This is real talk.
Okay. So I see we got Del Freaky, we got Patsy, we got Tanya, we got Josie, we got Kiana. Another lady. Let's get another lady. Kiana, you ready to share?
Yeah, I guess the question was what are the main reasons that relationships end? No. Cheating is probably definitely one. Disrespect would be probably two. I would say abuse would be three.
Okay.
Only other thing I can think of that would put some woman over the edge is if, you know, addiction. So if you have an addiction, I would, people would probably leave for that. That's just a lot.
I agree with all the things that she said, and adding to that, you know, when you get no financial support, a lot of Black men, they're unwilling to be motivated to put a queen first. You understand what I'm saying? Motivated to work hard. You know, you get a lot of lazy men that still, you know, expecting or looking for some kind of something from a woman, some type of support, when they're not giving the support back. Very simply.
And I like to add on to that. Can I add on to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
And women will be more likely to leave if you are not willing to really make a commitment. They're only going to be down for enough time, and then if you're not really serious of where they want to go, they will.
So let me say this to you guys. I think some of you guys are experiencing some mic issues. So fix your phones and stuff like that so we can hear you clearer. So right now we're hearing from the ladies. Tanya, you want to share? You want to tell us what you think the number one reason is to why women leave their men?
Everything that everybody else said, and that they don't want to grow.
Okay.
They stuck on stupid.
Okay. Maria? Okay, guys.
I just got on and I don't know what you guys are talking about.
So tonight we're talking about when a woman is fed up. And the first question is, what is the number one reason why women leave their men?
Because they're not supportive. And, cheating, lying, not untrustful, a lot of reasons.
Josie, did you fix your mic? You ready to share?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening. So I agree with everybody else stated. There's a lot of ground for people to just be tired, whether they have an addiction. And please, the sexual addiction, I just can't get with that. Like, control your penis. What the hell? There should be no diagnosed name that. But it is like, oh, he has a sex problem. What is that? Put your penis in your pants and leave it there.
So, guys, I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to say this for all the men on the panel tonight. Go ahead, get your pencil and your paper, your pens out. Take a note on your phone, on your iPad. This one is going to help you grow. You're going to learn something about yourself and the women of the world. Okay, so I got Maria's perspective, I got Josie's perspective, I got Del Freaky's perspective, I got Tanya's, and I got Patsy, and I got Kiana. So that's all the ladies. Let's go ahead.
Excuse me, not to interrupt, sir. Before you convert over to the men, can I say one profound thing, please?
Sure, you got the floor.
I don't want to have the floor, but I know, speaking from a spiritual sense, if God is not in it, in a man's heart or in a man's mind, when he deals with any woman, if God is nowhere in there, then it automatically is not, it's already failed. It's not going to work. That is rule number one. Anything that unites or that's joined together forcefully, I don't care if it's an attraction, love, whatever it is, God, if he's not in it, it ain't gonna work. I just want to conclude that.
All right, like it. All right, let's go to the men. Sean, you want to start us off? Do you want to tell us what you believe the number one reason is to why women leave their men?
Well, I don't know the number one reason, but I know that one reason would be if a woman feels like her man has lost lack of interest in her.
That's hard.
Because some men, they can lose a lack of interest, but because they're content with what the situation is, they're just going through life, not even being fair to her. And if she feels like, I'm sorry?
Not willing to grow.
Well, yeah, that and could just, yeah, pretty much. Like when a man checks out, he checks out. And sometimes some of us men don't, because we're comfortable with just living our life the way that we're living it. We're not fair to them, letting them know that we checked out or that we moved on, or we just like, it is what it is.
Excuse me.
I like that. Let's go to Bird. Bird, you want to share?
I can't speak for a woman and why they do what they do. So I'm gonna bow out of that and just enjoy the podcast for what it is.
All right. So if the spirit moves you to to comment, then feel free to do so. Robbie, you want to tell us your perspective?
I kind of agree with Sean. I just wanted to add to where he probably ain't touched. Another reason why they probably get fed up, because the man wants to be them.
Oh. So you want to elaborate?
Sometime he wants to be them in this. I mean something like this. I'm saying that if this lady wants to be pampered, he wants to be pampered. If this lady is in the bathroom for like an hour or two fixing her facial or her hair, he's doing the same thing. If she takes a long shower, he takes a long shower. If it's like he's in competition, he's competing with her gender.
Like it.
So can I say something to the gentleman, to Sean and to Robert? At what point do you share your thoughts or your real true feelings with a woman? When you tap out or check out and don't, she's not aware of it, and you're not, really being honest with her, then why even move forward or go through the motions? At what point do you sit down as men that you're supposed to be and have an adult conversation?
Yes.
Soon as I recognize I lost interest in that woman or anything that she has been doing for me, we're gonna have a conversation sort of like this. Our relationship ran its course.
Sean?
Mr. Rob, can I ask you, when two people are in a relationship or getting to know someone, both are driven towards each other, the relationship is steamy and hot. It goes for a year or two. Yes, one of them lacks. One of them has another interest. What happens to the other person? What happens to what was built? What happens to what was shared? What happens to what was bonded and now formed? What happened to the other person that's left with that?
Mm.
Well, I
Mr.
find that
Robert.
Okay, let me answer that. I find it's hard, very hard to hold on to something when you are not interested in that person anymore. If her heart's in it and mine isn't, the relationship isn't going to work anyway. What I advise her to do is probably rebuild herself, take time out for her, find what I would say me again, herself, and just do everything about her. Rebuild before she jumped into another relationship. Don't think about me anymore, because obviously I didn't appreciate what she was bringing to the table and I wanted to move on. So maybe she should collect all of her and do the same.
Good answer.
I think that's harsh. I don't think it's a good answer. I think it's harsh. That's not really concluding anything. That's just brushing her off. She has to deal with the emotions. She's going to now deal with the emotions of your decision. And your decision decided that, unfortunately, we've run our course and you need to move on. That's harsh. So that's why I had mentioned in the beginning, if God isn't in it in the beginning, it's not going to work. And so for men, most times when women do walk away, because men don't know how to become friends first, you want to quickly, arouse that penis, or quickly,
No.
yes. Sex is definitely, excuse me, sir. Sex is definitely an issue in the beginning with a man and a woman.
Del Freaky.
Friendship.
Can I say this? You might be talking from your own personal experience. I am talking from mine. I only can tell you what I dealt with, how I felt in relationships, and I know, respectfully enough, I take the woman's feelings into consideration. Therefore, that's the reason why I break it off, because I'm not worthy enough for her to hold on to me, or me to try to act like I want to hold on to her. That's why I said it ran its course, because I'm not going to mislead you 10 days later. We're still at this stop sign. It's not working for me. Why don't we just end this now? Not sounding harsh. I'm giving you a chance to rebuild what I might have broke down inside of you. So if you feel this way, it's because you might have been wrongly done, and you're taking everything I say personal.
Not at all,
Okay.
sir. I'm
So let
speaking
me
from a
let me
perspective of a woman and a man, and both parties having feelings. The topic tonight is, why does a woman leave a man? And so, part of all of that we're talking about is communication and feelings. And so, right from the very beginning, I'm not personal, I'm speaking from a woman's perspective, right from the very beginning. If it's not a
okay.
friendship, then what are you really building?
Okay, so let's get some other people's perspective. Again, if you're just tuning in, tonight's topic is when a woman's fed up. Let's get a man's point of view. Timmy, you want to tell us why you think a woman would leave a man?
Because it's what everybody say. And here's the thing: women have intuition when something is wrong, and they be blocking it because, quote unquote, they love this person, and so they block what they know is in their face, and they try to deny it until they get fed up and say, this is enough. I know for sure, and probably had a couple of evidence showing this, you know. So like I said from the start of the first podcast, communication is key to any relationship. You have to communicate in order to get the best out of each other. That's what I believe in.
Okay, stay right
Let me
there.
say this. In a perfect world, I think that what Robert said would be, ideal. In a perfect world where I'm not for certain what is her name? I'm sorry.
Freaky.
Del Freaky said it would be ideal. But we know we're not in a perfect world, and we're not all the same individuals, right? So with that being said, what may make me be fed up may not be the same level that another woman would be fed up. So we're all individuals. So I think that, again, in a perfect world, both of y'all's scenarios would be ideal, but there's no perfect world. And, no disrespect, because I put the Lord first, even with him involved. There's no perfect world, because if it was, we wouldn't be having this type of topic, and each of us wouldn't have these different points of views. But that's all I wanted to say. You guys go back on.
So let me go back and say this, guys. So the professionals say, based upon the survey, the number one reason why women leave a man is neglect. They neglect to love them. They neglect to support them. They neglect to give them the necessary attention that every woman and man requires. A relationship is hard work. It is like planting a flower. You have to water it. You have to nurture it. It does not grow without sunshine. It does not grow without water. It does not grow without nurturing. Same can be said about a relationship. But I will say this. A wise man once said, in a garden, a flower and the weed can grow up alongside one another. The weed will get the same things that the flower gets. It gets the sunlight, it gets the water, it gets the nurturing. But at some point, the weed is going to choke out the life of the flower. It's going to make sure the flower can't coexist with it. It wants all the sunlight. It wants all the water. It wants it all for itself. So that's a
Sounds
good
like a
segue for the first. Let's go to the first video. Let's hear what the professionals have to say. Tech person, roll the first video. Okay, I think we might be having some technical difficulties. You may have to turn up the volume.
Yeah, I can't hear nothing.
All right, so
whatever.
guys, why the tech person?
Welcome back to another segment of Chess Moves of a Woman. Today we're going to talk about when a woman's fed up. These are the 10 ways to find out when a woman's fed up with your ass, okay? Men, you guys be doing some crazy ass shit. You want a woman, you ask for a good woman, you ask God to send you a good woman, but then when you get her, you don't know how to treat her. You got a good woman, but you treat her for less. Don't treat people wrong because you stop your blessings. Don't do that, okay? Step number 1. The first way to know if a woman's fed up with you is when she is short with you. She's letting you know, oh, okay, oh, whatever. Those are some of the signs. Step number 2 is when she stopped arguing with your ass. If a woman don't argue with you no more, that means she fed up. She don't even care enough to argue with you. Step number 3 is when she stopped calling you. You're no longer a priority in her life, so she stops calling you and she doesn't want to talk to you. Step number 4. When a woman starts to entertain another guy, that means she's getting over your ass. So you better do something fast because the clock is ticking. Step number 5. When you try to hug her and she give you a halfway hug and the love don't feel the same no more, that means somebody else is entertaining her. So whatever you did, you better fix it because she's out the door. Step number 6. When you say that you're going to go somewhere and she don't ask you where you're going, I mean, she don't care no more. She doesn't care. It doesn't matter anymore to her because you have betrayed her, took all her trust, took her love for granted, and she don't care no more. So it don't matter to her anymore. Whatever you do from this point on is a non-factor. Step number 7. When she tells her girls about you, and her girls are telling her, girl, don't go back to him. All he gonna do is keep doing the same thing over and over, and you a damn fool. And she listens to them girls, I mean, she's over it. You can only do so much to a woman, you know. Everything in person has an expiration date. You can't continuously keep fucking a person over and expecting them to keep taking it. Nobody's your doormat. Step 9. When you go in and kiss a woman and she turn her head the other way, she's over it. She doesn't even value you enough to even kiss you. In the back of her mind, she's thinking about another man. She's trying to see how another man can treat her. That's what she's thinking about. And the final step, step number 10, how you can tell when a woman's fed up is when she ain't fucking with you no more. When the calls stop, when the text messages stop, when the loving stops, when she stops arguing with you, when you're no longer a priority in her life, hey, you lost out on a good woman that would have did everything she could to be by your side. Remember, men, we don't walk out your lives, you let us go. And this is a chess move of a woman.
All right, ladies, let's get right to it. Let's get your opinion about that video. Patsy?
Yeah, that's basically all of it in a nutshell. You know, because it's like when you don't have the support, whether it's like emotional, financial, whatever, you know, and I feel like I'm pretty much being ignored. Like, yeah, it's done. When you shut down, you know, it's gonna take, for some people it takes longer than others. But once you shut down and then we realize you're really shutting down, and you know, you know, it'll be a minute and I'm gonna end up leaving you. It's
Okay.
like, whatever, you know, like, you don't want to be with me, fine, don't be with me. See ya, don't want to be here. That's
All
how I
right.
feel.
Kiana?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you.
I guess I agree with the video. She was annoying me with the steps part. So yes, I agree with what she says. Those things will those are the signs that a female will show when she's fed up. But more likely than not, she's said it. She said it. She said it. She gave you all the signs, and those are just the residuals of, okay, I talked enough. I'm no longer doing any of that. I'm going to not speak to you. I'm going to withdraw myself. I'm going to start thinking about me and not about us.
Right.
Only. Okay. Let's get Maria, you still with us? Okay. Tanya? Guys, you have to turn your mics on.
Oh, I'm here. I'm sorry. What
So
you
how'd
want to
you
know?
feel about the video?
Well, I agree with some of the things that she said. Sometimes you can't listen to you. I mean, how can I put this? If they are a true friend, they're gonna tell you the truth. But sometimes you have females in your sphere that you think is your friends, but they real down low trying to get with that no good piece of man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I agree with what she says. And when you shut down, if I shut down, it's over. If I'm not caring, like what she said, if I'm not caring about where you're going anymore, if I'm done arguing with you and I'm giving all of me and I'm not getting anything in return, yeah, it's gonna be over.
Okay. Josie?
I think she gave some signs, you know, but there's a lot more, you know, there could be a lot more signs.
Go ahead and give me some.
No, I'd rather not. But when you're fed up, I'm sure if you're dealing with somebody and it's long term, they definitely see the difference. They see the changes. They see you know, some of the things she definitely continued to specify that she specified all along, and then put it all together at the end. Because that's what I saw her do in the video. But there's other things, you know, your woman is catering to you, nurturing you, cleaning your feet, cutting your toenails. Those things stop. Your woman is asking you how your day was. It's like, you know, the little small things that people don't really notice until it's gone. When those things stop, you know, even those things that may aggravate you, you know what I mean? Like those things that annoy you, those things that be like, but when those things stop, yeah, you need to start questioning yourself. What's going on here? What's going on here? You might want to start looking around, and I ain't saying you got to question yourself to the fact where you got to stop running after me or, you know, trying to do better to win me. That's going to be something that you're going to have to choose, because at some point you chose not to pay attention to me in the first place. So when those things stop, there's some reevaluating that you need to do with yourself.
Okay, well said. Del Freaky.
I very much agreed with the lady in the video that spoke. Those were some of the signs. However, I also agreed with you, with women, you know, looked at or treated like a flower. As I said, you gotta, the things that you said, you know, and so their lack of, when you don't do those things, or you discontinue to do the nurturing and the loving, when you slack on those things, then surely things will change. A woman's not going to say it, but she'll notice, you know, and so the gentleman probably will receive some of the signs that the lady said in the video. But I go all the way back to the beginning, and I want to refer to my sister Josie that said, referring to a perfect world. I understand there is no perfect world, sister, but in the very beginning, if that man does not see that woman as a queen, and that woman does not see that man as a king, you're already putting salt over it. You've already got salt in it. You know, when you pick one, it's not to go and choose another one. The hopes is not to have another one. The hopes is to keep the one that you locked eyes with, or whatever the magnet was. That's the hope, to keep that, you know? So it starts in the very beginning. But Mr. Robert, as you said, when you lack the nurturing, the watering, the love, the comfort, and all those things, when you lack that, yes, that will cause a change. And that's when a woman's fed up.
Okay, well said. All right.
Can I get in this?
Oh, okay, Bird. Let's go to Bird first, and then we'll come back to Sean. Okay, Bird, go ahead.
I mean, I'm feeling, this is on me. If you're noticing all these signs, you're turning your head when he does this, and all of these things are happening, best believe he's already done before you're done. He's already over the shit, excuse my language. He's already kind of moving on into with something else. And, you know, women are a lot stronger. They put up with a lot more from men. You know, we may do a lot of things that women put up with that we would not. We say a lot of things that we cannot handle being said. So if the woman's fed up, I would truly believe the man is already gone by then. Because a woman most likely is the anchor, is the rock, will try to hold on and, you know, try to get through some things and hope things can get better. But at that point, I believe the man is already done with that. And I'm going to quote my man R. Kelly: when a woman's fed up, it ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. If she's done, she's done. I mean, you got to go too.
It's vice versa. It's vice versa. When a man is fed up, it's the same thing. Vice versa.
Well, the topic is women. We'll stay on topic. Yep. We're not talking about us, Timothy.
Sean,
Yes, sir. Pose your question to me again, please.
So, do you agree with the video? With the young lady had to say about the signs, the clues, about when she reaches her boiling point and she's bubbled over?
Most definitely. And anybody who's in tune with their relationship or their situation or whatever it may be, they know what time it is. So yeah, when you see those things, you know, it's time not to be in denial.
Okay. Let's switch this up a little bit. So let me ask the guys a couple of questions. So, Robert, have you ever experienced anything like that when the woman is basically giving you all the warnings? You know, let's say they're warning shots. She say, you don't pay attention to me. You don't support me. You don't love me like you used to. You don't look upon me like you once did. She now she wants to go out with her girls more because she feels like that there's no reason to remain at home. So she's always out in the streets and stuff like that. Have you ever been in a situation like that where there's been warning signs?
Yeah, I experienced warning signs. But it was more so I was asked to go places probably with a woman at times, and I said, "Oh no, you go ahead. You go out there. You have a good time with you and your friends. I'll see you when you come home. Love you." Now, I was doing the wrong thing because I should have been joining her on those nights out. Um, Instead of just thinking that she was gonna be okay by herself, she really wanted me to go. When you don't attend some of these gatherings or just go out for the outings, a woman is a sex symbol. So there's other men out there that will pay her some mind, the attention that you're not giving her, that you didn't accompany her to give her that attention. They're in her ear, they're in her personal space. She's gonna be persuaded to do something eventually, and the signs have come back home that there has to be another man talking in her ear. There has to be another man presenting temptation and in front of her eyes for her to either bite it or not. So I pick up on signs very well, and that's how I knew some of my relationships was over, just by a woman coming back and things changed. The good mornings are not really like wake up, good morning is not there no more. Hi, good morning, hope you have a good day, morning, love you. The kissing from the lips or the mouth being open kisses turn to them trying to, oh, I gotta go, and just give you a hug or a side a cheek to kiss. There's been signs, many things, believe me when I tell you. That's how some of my relationships ended. Meaning my real relationships, I picked up on the sign and I fell back, and I just allowed them to go ahead and do what they wanted to do, and I just had to end the relationship, walk away.
All right, like that. We sharing's caring. Bird, have you ever experienced situations like that where you feel like the woman checked out, so you checked out too?
I believe I was more of the person to be checked out. But you know, I believe it was all there as well. Both parties checked out, stayed around and miserable for a long time, trying to raise a family, but it just didn't work out. And it came to a point where enough was enough. It was just time for both parties to just walk away. And I'm okay with that. That was probably a better decision. It was hurting a lot more people, you know what I mean? Being in that toxic situation, the verbal abuse, you know, shit like that. It just wasn't really, it was more of a mutual situation.
Okay, like it. So is it fair to say your fight or flight response kicked in at some point?
Absolutely, it kicked in at some point, but you know, it was there for quite some time. You know, some people, again, you hold on for the wrong reasons. You hold on thinking it's the right reason. And, you know, you could have did that, could have, should have, would have. I just can't live my life like that. You know, you got to live and learn. And, you know, maybe in a future relationship, I may learn different things or be different or look in the mirror or, you know, figure things out that way. But at the end of the day, nothing lasts forever. And I'm sorry to say,
Yeah.
we're not living in the time and the era of our grandparents being married 50 and 60 years. Between music, social media, and just social interaction has just changed the game out here in relationships. So it's a hard thing to process right now. Is there a perfect person out here for everybody? Absolutely not. So, you know,
Okay.
either you
Stay right there. Stay right there. Because I want to ask a question to the whole panel. So, is there some truth in what Bird said? Is it that is it more so the women have changed, the women and men have changed, or the level of commitment towards a relationship, a healthy, productive, positive, long-term relationship? Has that changed, Deli?
I'm going to respond a little bit to Mr. Bird, what he was talking about, because there is no perfect world. There never will be. We're all only here for a little while, and it is to enjoy each other. So right off the back, if we can't enjoy each other, I'm not going to give you no misery. I'm going to let you know up front. You should know up front. I'm speaking hypothetically, not to you specifically. I'm speaking hypothetically. You know, I mean, when you cut off the BS, like I said before, everybody's an adult. You can see BS when it happens, before it happens, and while it's happening. And so to stay in a relationship or to go along for whatever unselfish reasons, it's a problem with the person. You understand? So, you know, I'm old fashioned. I'm not looking for that back in the day, married 40, 50, but I will tell you this. I am looking for a man of God, because as we are getting older and people are not paying attention, I'm not with the times. Times are changing. The world is pivoting and people are losing their minds. You understand? We're in another place in this world where things are happening that are so unfamiliar, and it's changing people's minds. A lot of people can't deal with just life. You understand? So when you take that and you hook up with somebody else, you don't really know what you're dealing with. You don't really know who you're dealing with. So, you know, I'm old fashioned. If God ain't in it, it's not for me. So for my other brothers and sisters that's out there, you know, and that's looking or that's trying to make a relationship work, save yourself the trouble, you know, cut off the BS and stay, you know, focused. You know, say what you want and mean what you want.
Okay, like it. Sean, you want to touch base? You want to touch that?
I am I touching your question or her or responding to what Sister D just said?
You can tackle both if you choose to.
I'll go with your question. I say the latter. I say that our commitment, both male and female, we sometimes I think we enter into a situation with our own agendas and don't get on the same page. I like something that Sister D said earlier in the night when she said, when hooking up with someone, that people haven't learned or lost the art of becoming friends first. And I believe that once you do that, then I mean you'll be on the same page, even when, you know, as Bird and Sister D said, when you recognize BS, you'll recognize BS because although you may have checked out, you're still in tune to what's going on. And you'll be able to know when you know, when someone's not with it or when you've actually no longer with it.
Like it. Josie?
Yes, sir.
So you want to go ahead and tackle that question?
What is the question?
So the question is, do you believe that women and men have changed, or is it that their level of commitment towards a positive, productive, healthy, long-term relationship has changed?
I think that that's a circle because I believe both have changed. Men and women have changed, and that's why the relationships have changed.
Right.
So once we figure out why we're changing so much, maybe we can get back to whatever relationships that we think we're supposed to be in. Again, there's no such thing as a perfect world. If it was, then we wouldn't be having these type of conversations. I believe we'll all be Stafford wives and, and Stafford, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know,
But is that what we want? Do we want those robotic relationships?
Stay tuned. We don't know. We had to think about it Thursday. That was like, you know, pre-programming. So we don't know if we're all going to be Stafford wives one day. But what I'm saying is that I think that it's a circle. And I think that men have changed, women have changed, and that's why our relationship commitments have changed. So I support what she just said. I would love to say her name was El Freaky.
It's Del Freaky.
Del Freaky. Del Freaky. All right, I'm just gonna call you Del because we're gonna get rid of the Freaky. You seem like you're a very respectful person, so I'm just gonna get rid of the Freaky. I'm gonna say Del. I agree with you. You know what you were saying as well. I think that we need to take it back and really look at what you guys want and what women want. And if you can't come together off rip from the jump and understand what it is that each other wants, whether that's God being involved or not, I think that you really don't have a chance. Growing up, knowing somebody as a child and growing up, seeing them as an adult and y'all knowing each other on that level, friendship wise, I think that you might have a better chance to, you know, have some downfalls and get back up and do it again. Do I want to erase someone who just met each other? No, I don't want to take away from them either, because there's been times that I've experienced, you know, just meeting somebody and had a deeper bond than somebody that I've known for a long time, you know? So I think that it's all around, but once we figure out why we're changing so much, I think that we can get back to the good part of it all. It's really sad that you go so long with years with somebody and you can't make it work like the older people used to do, you know, our elders and whatnot. You look at people, they got 50, 60, you know, and you're looking at a measly 3, 2, and you're aggravated. You're disappointed.
And it's what you said,
people.
Sister Josie, it's what you said. Just like we're having a discussion right now, we're all adults. So it's about communication. And so when you're in a relationship where you lack, baby, that's where I'm supposed to help support you. Where I fall down, sweetheart, that's where you come in and pick me up. It's a collaborative thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it beautiful? It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like that flower David was talking about. I think I spoke about that some time ago. I don't know where you seen that at, David, but I definitely said we're flowers. Please water me.
We are queens. We are queens and men are kings.
Help me continue to bloom into this thing. You know what I'm saying? But when you stop nurturing me and caring for me and understanding me and you know, that kind of downplays on everything that I guess we're supposed to be putting forth.
Well, I'm sorry. A woman's world.
Let me tell y'all this. If you listen to the lyrics of songs, like Dave was talking about Flower, the Emotions got a song called Flower. It tells you about how to treat a woman. Folk Wars had a song called Friends Before Lovers. There's first thing he says, first is the attraction, then come friends, and then there's love and part. You know, so if you listen to songs, they have messages in it, not just snapping your fingers, listening to it. Oh, I like the beat. Just actually listen to the lyrics and hear what that lyric is saying about, because it can teach you about life. A lot of music can teach you things about life that's going on.
So are you saying that it would be smart for the young and the old to go raid the crates and basically dust off those old and dusties and get back to listening to good music?
No, we
Of
had
course.
good music in the 60s and ain't been none since. Real men sung about real love and real women. You understand? And so there are some young brothers like hold on, because Jaheim talked about that. You better put that woman first. Okay. And if I go a little bit older, Will Downing, that's my brother, y'all. He'll tell you how to treat a woman. The Whispers, if I want to go back, will tell you.
That's basically like H-Town. They had a song called How to Treat a Woman or How to Treat a Lady.
Nah, that was Jodeci.
That was H-Town.
Okay. So let me take it a step further. So I'm gonna go back to something what Josie said. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug the individual, that wise man that I spoke of. So the person that spoke of the flower and the weed growing up alongside, that was Bishop Robert Perry. Shout out to my bishop. You guys can tune in or stop by 234 Norfolk Street, Dorchester, Massachusetts. Service starts at 9:30. Y'all can check out at Mount Olive Kingdom Builders. And you know what? Let's go into another video while we got time. Tech person, you ready?
Is your partner saying that they want to separate and you're doing everything you can, but nothing is seeming to change their mind? I think I have a hunch about why this is. And it's because women leave relationships mentally way before they actually leave the relationship physically. Let's talk about it. I'm Sharon Pope. I am the love and relationship coach that helps women in struggling and disconnected marriages try to figure out, can they stay and make it work? Can they make it feel better, or is the only answer to lovingly release it? Sometimes the women I work with want to do everything they can to see if they can help the marriage feel good again, but some don't. Some women tried everything they knew to attempt to make the marriage feel good for years, or maybe even decades. Things might have begun to feel better for a little while, but it always reverted back to the same distance between them as a couple, the same resentments, and then the same hopeless feelings. And after trying and being unsuccessful for years, she gave up. She checked out. She gave up on the marriage. She gave up on him. And because there is some implied finality to giving up, she likely never told her husband that she had done so. You see, women leave a relationship mentally before they leave physically. And then at some point, and maybe that's even years later, she became so far gone mentally and emotionally that the distance between them had become so palpable that even as they were existing under the same roof, it was so disconnected. So there comes a point in a dying relationship where the act of physically leaving begins to feel just like a logistical technicality. And here's the issue that I have seen happen time and time again. By the time a woman makes the decision to leave physically, she checked out mentally years ago. So when she asks for separation or divorce, now she has her husband's attention. And now he's in enough pain and fear that he's willing to make the necessary changes. Any changes, whatever it takes. He might offer to go to counseling together. He begins complimenting her more often. He says, I love you. Maybe even buys flowers or gifts. He's really trying. He plans time for them together. He makes attempts at being physically intimate because he thinks that will solve it. But nothing seems to be working, which makes her feel guilty and him feel powerless. His actions alone now cannot flip the switch in her heart. And these things, they might have worked years ago, but now she's so far gone mentally from the relationship, and the marriage, it just can't be bridged by small actions and little behaviors. Now a miracle is going to be required. And I'm a believer in them. They happen every day. I literally had a client use this language with me this week. They were working with me for 2 weeks. She said, I've been using these tools and it has been miraculous so far. And just sharing one of these tools with my husband and having a heart-to-heart talk about it has completely shifted our dynamic. We can barely stay away from each other. We're so excited to be together, smiling, flirting, and enjoying each other. Even the passion is back. Now, I also will honor a woman's decision when it's just too little too late. Sometimes she doesn't even want to try. And that really is part of the final decision-making process. Sometimes we genuinely want to try to make it work. And sometimes we just want to try to make it work. If this spoke to you, or if this was helpful to you, I hope that you'll subscribe to the channel. If you want to be notified whenever I post a new video, just click the red bell in the upper right corner. And if you are ready to get this level of clarity for yourself on whether or not you want to try, whether or not the marriage can evolve, there's a link to schedule a complimentary truth and clarity session with me in the notes below this video. And you can schedule that session and we'll see if there's a fit for us to work together.
All right, ladies. How you feel about that? I mean, I think she gave you some helpful hints, both to the men and the women. I believe it's true what she said about women mentally check out before the men. I think Bird alluded to that earlier in the earlier conversation. He stated something similar to that. So I read somewhere that all women, when they get in a relationship, like Deli said, they choose the man. So because that's the person that they've chosen, they're in the fight until the end. So they don't check out for any silly things. They try to make it work for a very long time before they decide this is no longer a need for me. This is no longer healthy. This is not conducive. It's time consuming, and it's very tough. And I don't want to do it.
It might be a pattern.
Say that again?
It might be a pattern. You know, they watch their mom, hold on to somebody that wasn't no good, and he was just abusing them. So, examples, somebody said to me that, examples of how you're supposed to act comes from your parents, then from school. But the main respectful things that you learn in life comes from your parents.
Okay.
And I think that's
I agree with Mr. Rob, because some women are not groomed properly by their mothers. And so you're right, Mr. Rob.
That's
women.
Timmy.
No, I'm not Robert, I'm Timmy.
Okay, Timmy,
That's
some
Timmy.
women are scorned. And so because of certain situations, maybe they didn't have a father, so they're looking for a male figure. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Maybe,
Yes.
yeah, there's all types of reasons. So once again, as adults going into a relationship, like, what are you looking for? And so you get what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So let
You
me
want that one night stand, that's what you get. If you want part time, that's what you get. If you want long term, that's what you get. But with the between the partners that you pick, if you're steady picking the same type of person, then you ain't never gonna get nowhere. You're never gonna find that person because you're always dealing with the same type of people.
let me get Tanya back into the conversation. Tanya, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, T. So, what's a deal breaker for you? What is the one thing that makes you check out the relationship and you close the door on it?
What's the one thing?
Yes.
Oh, cheating.
Cheating.
Yes, cheating.
Okay. Kiana, what's the one thing that is a deal breaker for you? What makes you say, okay, I'm fed up, I'm leaving, I'm not dealing with this no more?
For me, currently now, it would be, I mean, cheating would be it too, but I feel like outright disrespect and disregard is a deal breaker for me. If you're going out here throwing your behind to everybody, I'm not doing that with you. So you're not going to disrespect me in that type of manner. So that's a deal breaker for me.
You know what, Tiana, you have a foundation. You have a foundation that you built from the ground up. You know, and your marriage, you started as being friends and then you got married. So that foundation was there from y'all being friends and being boyfriend and girlfriend into marriage. So you have a foundation that's been built.
Yes, that's true. But I mean, it's different. I feel like because of the nature of how our relationship is, there's years in there. So there's
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The foundation.
There's more to build on, but there's also, and then you have to take into the account age. The stuff I would have dealt with when I was 20 is not the same stuff that I would deal with in my 40s. The stuff I dealt with in my teens is not the same stuff I would deal with getting closer to the halfway mark. I wouldn't tolerate I would tolerate less than I did. And so I guess my deal breakers are different.
So I like it. So if I'm hearing you
correct, set the house on fire. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
I agree with Kiana. At this late in your age, it's totally different from when you was 20. You know, for me, and I'm gonna say a lot of women probably stayed with their man when they cheated. But right now, this time in my age, cheating is a deal breaker for me. What's really a deal breaker for me is abuse. I don't understand how anybody could stay with a man after they put his hands on you.
Okay.
That's not a man.
I agree. I agree with that as well.
So we got
that. Yeah, that's a total deal breaker. But to me, that's not even that would be like totally left in my situation. So that wouldn't even come up to me. But I mean, I agree. That you better sleep with your eyes open. And everybody in your family better sleep with their eyes open because the house is burning down.
Well, you should have deal breaker for me because I'm an OG. I'm over the 55 mark. I'm almost headed to 60. So the deal breaker for me as an OG nigga is when you give up. When you stop supporting, stop loving, stop caring, stop nurturing. When you shut down and give up, that's the deal breaker for me.
So since so you will put your field hand out to pasture, so to speak.
What do you elaborate on that a little bit?
You said you would put the old field hand, the old slave out to pasture when he gives up. So if he no longer is a factor, a positive factor, he can't contribute anymore because he stopped trying. Like the mule that just decides he's not going to work no more, you're going to put him out the pasture. Am I correct?
When you give up, baby, I'm giving up too. When you let go, I let go. That's how that goes.
So again, back to Teddy Pendergrass. Think you better let it go, huh? All right. So we got cheating, we got the twins, disrespect and disregard. We got abuse. Patsy, what is a deal breaker for you? What is that nail in the coffin?
I'm gonna have to agree with the abuse because there ain't no need for it. Cause yeah, and feeling disrespected and put out, it's like, yeah, craziness.
Okay, so I think I got the point of view from all the ladies. Men.
Yeah, I want to add something.
Go ahead, Tanya.
You asked for one, but there's a list as you can see. But for me as well is if he stops believing.
Yes.
Believing in what? Believing in you?
Having
believing in God?
having a
believing in
relationship with God. If he stops doing that, then we can't go nowhere because that's the center.
Okay, so I'm hearing God a lot in this conversation this evening. So God is the foundation. Without God, you don't have anything. This is what I'm hearing.
Let me say it like this. Tanya say, what? Go ahead.
Hey. Let me say it like this. For me, during my teenage years, I was looking for someone to love me unconditionally, and you look for it in all the wrong places. So I dealt with a lot of knuckleheads younger in life, and it says as you reach each milestone in your life, you grow and you mature. So when I knew about God, I was looking for love in all the wrong places, and I was getting what I was looking for. But when I came to know God and have a relationship with him, then things changed because he was in the center, in the middle of everything I did, everything I prayed for, everything I strived for, brought the right type of man in my life. Because sometimes we be in these relationships and God is trying to get us away from that situation. But because we made the choice, as someone has said, and we want to try and make it work, we're trying to hold on to something that God's trying to get away from us so that we can get to what he's trying to get for us.
That's right. So
that's it. Amen, amen, amen. You couldn't have said it any better.
All right. So while that marinates, I'm going to give you guys some helpful hints. Again, I got 7 steps for you guys, 7 hints, right? These are some to-dos. So guys, listen up. Women, you too, get your pen and paper out. This is going to help you grow. So after you decided that you have slammed the door shut on the relationship, that's it. I can't stand no more. I'm out the door. I'm looking at you in the rear view. I'm moving forward. So this is what happens to the man. Not that y'all care once you decide you're not going to no longer be there. So this is what sets in afterwards. That man starts to go through some stages. And a lot of times that man says, I don't need her. I'm glad she's gone. That's what he says. Some men get sick. They can't eat. They can't sleep. They become constipated. They messed up. Some crazy men go searching for you. I said this before, in the daylight with a flashlight. Be careful of those men. They're gonna hurt you when they find you. So again, that man can't eat, he can't sleep, he can't use the bathroom, he don't want to work, he don't want to work out. Some of them don't even want to bathe. Last thing they want to do in some situation is deal with their friends, family, children. They don't even want to deal with another woman at that point. Some of them, they swear off women. So this is what happens in stage one. Stage one is the birth of the male ego. That's a very, 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 very dark time for men. And it's even a darker time for women, because this is what they hear when you shut the door. That's what it sounds like in their head. No more conversation. All that conversation where he said all she does is just run her mouth, and all I hear is wham, 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 wham. They long for those conversations then, once you're gone. Now the ego tells them again, I don't need her. I can do better by myself. Let the happy days begin. But the heart says something else. It says, you can't live without her, and I'm about to show you. Stage two, the man he becomes a social animal. So there's a transformation of sorts. The man that used to be the mild man that stay at home, cook dinner, do homework with the kids, run you bath water, that man, the one that wanted to read with you, watch your favorite show. Notice I said your favorite show. There's a transformation. He doesn't want to do none of that stuff no more once you're gone. I mean, you took everything that was you with you, everything that was y'all with you. So now he's out in the club. Anytime someone's having a party, he's there. Anytime somebody invites him out for a drink, he's there. He might start dating a plethora, a long list of no good women. Anything, just to get over you. He don't want to be alone. So this is what he's gonna do. He's gonna show up to his mother's house. He's gonna spend long days there. He's gonna go to his friend's house. His friends got women, but he don't care about their relationship. He needs comfort. So he's gonna get drunk, and if they allow him to, he's gonna sleep on their couch. He's not gonna go home. He don't care about your relationship because he don't have one of his own. Stage three. So what happens is the realization sets in. She's gone. She ain't coming back. Man, I go on and turn off that extra cell phone. She ain't answering it. When I call, she ain't responding to my texts. I done drove past her house a couple of times. My key don't work. She done changed the locks. She changed the locks to her front door and the back door. And she changed the lock to her heart. So your key for that doesn't even work anymore. That's the realization. It's over. Stage four, anger and sadness. This is the part what I talked about. When that man feels like he ain't got nothing else to live for. It ain't worth getting up in the morning going to work. It ain't worth doing anything. He don't care about his grooming now. This man that always kept a fresh cut, he might be walking around with a horseshoe haircut now. He know that ain't cute, but he don't care no more. He ain't got nobody to tell him that he should get a haircut, or she think he will look better if he went and got his haircut. He don't care no more. He'll let his grades show, his beard to have food in it, and all those things. They just don't care. Again, those are the men that they just give up on life, give up on themselves. They don't care no more. The sadness it's just a sad sight for everybody that knows this person, because they know he's going down the hill quick. It's a downward spiral. Step 5, stage 5, the initial acceptance. Again, she left me because I failed to be the man that she requires me to be. That's simple. You have to come to that realization. You messed it up. All those times when she gave you warnings about what you was doing wrong, and she told you, let's talk about it, and you didn't want to talk, guess what? She ain't got no conversation for you now. So now you got to deal with that. Stage 6. Now you get to the stage where you're trying to regain trust and hope. You're trusting that my broken heart is going to mend. I will love again. You're looking at all your friends and their successful relationships, and you're hoping that, you know, in the end, the truth is something lies, is something in store for you, something similar or something greater. So you start looking to all the good things that other people are doing in their relationships, and you start putting that in the forefront of your mind. If ever given the chance to love again, this is what I'm gonna do. So you start taking a list of all the good things that work, and all the things that you also have a second list of all the things that didn't work, and you keep that forefront too, because you want to make sure you don't repeat those same mistakes again when given another opportunity. Stage 7, ready to take the leap of faith again. You're ready to dive back into the fray. You feel like, I got this. I got to figure it out. I know what I got to do. I know what she wants. Well, first thing, you got to know, in some situations, there is no going back. She has moved on. She has got a 1-bedroom apartment now. She don't care nothing about your 5-bedroom home with 2 bathrooms, the pool, the jacuzzi, the 2-car garage. She don't care nothing about that. None of that matters. She done found her a man that's going to pay attention to her. He might ride the bus, but he pays attention to her. She don't care about your finances. So I tell y'all something real quick too. I know a woman told me she has 3 men. She has a man for finance, she has a man for romance, and she has a man for maintenance. Y'all figure out the last. Y'all all grown. Y'all know what she's talking about. So, in closing, I'm going to leave you guys with this. This is the final word. In relationships, you should not allow your mate to define you, because when they leave you, you will not find any semblance of you. This is the Still a Man podcast. God bless you guys. Keep coming back.